So, how do you go from being just friends to something more? It's a question I think a lot of us have asked at some point. In this explainer, we're going to walk through a really thoughtful, respectful roadmap, all backed by expert advice, to see if that's a path you can actually navigate. But first, let's just get real for a second. Have you ever had these deep, intense feelings for a friend, only to feel like you were just completely stuck in the friend zone? If you're nodding your head right now, well, you are in the vast majority. A 2019 study in the Journal of Social and Personal Relationships found that a staggering 80% of people have been there. It's a nearly universal part of the human experience, so you're definitely not alone.
Look, it's a tough spot to be in. There's no doubt about it. But here's the key takeaway from all the research we're diving into today. Don't lose hope. Seriously. With a thoughtful and, a considerate approach, it's actually possible to see if there's potential for something more.
So where do you even start? Well, it all begins with step 1. You have to communicate your feelings. This right here is the foundation for everything that comes next. And listen, this isn't just some friendly advice. It's backed by decades of solid research. The psychologist Dr. John Gottman, who has spent his entire career studying what makes relationships work, he puts it perfectly. Clear and open communication is the foundation for successful relationships. It really does start with being honest about how you feel. But how you communicate is just as important as what you say. Just look at the difference here. An accusatory phrase like, "You never see me as more than a friend," that immediately makes an assumption and can put someone on the defensive. But when you flip it and use an I statement like, "I feel like there's something more between us," you're just owning your feelings, and no one can argue with how you feel. It opens up a conversation instead of starting a fight. Now, after you've bravely put it all out there, the next part is just as critical. You have to be prepared for literally any response. They might feel the same way, they might not, or they might just need some time to think. Whatever their answer is, respecting their feelings without any pressure, that is absolutely non-negotiable. All right, so once you've opened the door with your words, it's time for step 2, showing your intentions through your actions. Because let's be honest, what you do often speaks way louder than what you say. And there's some really fascinating science behind this. The biological anthropologist Dr. Helen Fisher has done research that shows our brains are literally hardwired to notice and respond to certain behaviors as these powerful signals of romantic interest. So what are these signals our brains are looking for? Well, Dr. Fisher's work points to 3 huge nonverbal cues: sustained eye contact, a gentle and totally appropriate touch on the arm, and simply being in close physical proximity. These are ancient, almost primal ways we communicate attraction without ever saying a single word. But these signals aren't enough on their own, not even close. The real goal here is to build trust through consistency. This means making a genuine effort to plan real dates, not just hanging out. It means when you say you're going to do something, you actually follow through. This is how you show that you're not just interested, but that you're also a reliable and trustworthy potential partner. And I really, really have to stress this. It is absolutely crucial to remember that all of these actions have to happen within the bounds of respect. You have to always be tuned into their boundaries and their comfort level, especially when it comes to any kind of physical intimacy. Consent and respect are everything. And that brings us to our third and final step. Now, this one might sound a little counterintuitive at first, but it is arguably the most important of all. Give them space. The work of clinical psychologist Dr. Sue Johnson is so insightful here. She teaches us that true emotional closeness, the very bedrock of any healthy relationship, well, it just can't be forced. It requires both people to willingly be vulnerable and open with each other. This all comes down to one core concept: autonomy. At its heart, this is just about having a deep respect for their right to process their own feelings and make their own choices, completely free from any pressure or manipulation from you. So, after you've communicated clearly and you've shown your intentions consistently, you've done your part. If they decide they want to explore a romantic relationship with you, that's fantastic. And if they don't, the only healthy, respectful path forward is to accept that decision gracefully and continue to cherish the friendship you already have. Okay, so let's bring all these different pieces together and talk about the mindset you really need to carry forward through all this. Ultimately, this whole entire process is guided by 3 core principles. It's about taking things slowly, letting the connection develop naturally instead of trying to force it. It's about respecting their boundaries, always and without exception. And finally, it's about giving them the space they need to make their own decision. And all of this brings us to the most important takeaway of all. This isn't just some strategy to get out of the friend zone. It's about learning how to handle your own emotions with maturity and how to build healthier, more honest connections in general. Which really leaves us with one final question to think about. What does a truly healthy relationship, whether it's a friendship or something else, what does that really mean to you?